my friends, back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. I get psyched up even when I say that in the morning. It's time to have another great day, Warriors, and I appreciate all the comments, likes, all the subscriptions, donations. You guys are wonderful. We're going to continue doing this. I'm getting close now to picking a date. We're going to pick a date for our live stream. We'll do something at least for a half hour so you guys can get on, ask some questions if you want to, and we can kind of at least give you my opinion about what my experiences were and things that might help you a little bit down the line. I'm seeing a lot of great comments. Mark Anthony, I just saw one from you, my friend. Great comments. It's powerful. It's very powerful. But again, with great power comes great responsibility. My own Spider-Man quote. I think it's important to understand that because you really want to understand what is the final goal, what's the purpose here. You're a superhuman. You're going to be a superhuman with retention. You're going to keep that. You're going to attract all kinds of opportunities, female opportunities, other opportunities. You got to kind of decide what you want to do and stay with it, but don't fall into the trap of losing it. So we'll talk about anxiety in a second here because that's a good topic for today. But let me see if I got any shout outs that I forgot to. By the way, guys, if I'm missing you, I'm trying to catch all the comments I see. It's no offense to you guys. I just miss them. So I apologize for that, but I'll try to get as many as I can. And if there's other ones you want to say that, do it again, just let me know. Okay. Duderino, Unemployed, 9 weeks. Keep going, my friend. Young men are intimidated. Yes, you can. As an old man, you can intimidate a lot of young men and other people. This is something we'll talk about in a second, but it is when you're strong, when you have that strength, it is very possible to intimidate people. Some people will take it the wrong way, and that's important to look at. FASKR, which eye, left or right, when you look at people? That's a good question. I don't really know. I think that I will tend to, if you're having trouble looking at people's eyes, and we're talking about attraction here, look at people's noses. That's close enough, and it'll give you time to get some, relieve the anxiety a little bit, and then look at people straight in the eye as time goes on. I think you look at both of them, but there could be more research out that I don't know about, so it's a good question that we probably need to look at more. Hawk Mini, thank you. Mark Anthony, 7 days. I just said another one about you, my friend. Congratulations. Keep it going. JC, Enlightened. Mark Anthony, dancing more. That's good. You got a lot of Mark. I continue doing that, my friend. Villem, how to look at the eyes. Once again, when you look at the nose, that's probably a good way to start. If you can't look at the eyes, I think you got to make that eye connection, but that female will see the eye connection and then be attracted because they cannot unconsciously get away from your energy. And it's going to feel a bond right away that's going to be strong. NeukueN, women attraction is important. Thank you for both your comments. Jason M, Heatlike Miami, Mach Speed 300, thank you. Rec 44, we will try to do some consulting. I'm trying to set that up for the fall especially. And Patrick Simeon, thank you, my friend. All right, so comments today. We're going to at 3:30 here. We're going to talk about Tony had a comment about social anxiety. Zesphirous Network also. Harold Merewether talking about men, anxiety, all those type of things. Also DJ 3DD getting angry. Villem also had a comment, frustration with other types of people too as well. So, okay, let's talk about that a little bit. So we're going to talk about social anxiety and SR and what happens here. So remember, guys, when we're talking about this, we're talking about a new state, a new lifestyle that you're in. So Warriors, you're living a new lifestyle. You've made a commitment to say this is a new lifestyle you're in. From my experiences, what happens is that you have to be ready for that. It took me 47 years to actually be ready for this type of lifestyle. And I'd be first one to admit that I was kind of more on a simp side than anything else. I was not a true warrior for a long time, even though there's parts of me that were, not that part. And so I've had bad relationships in the past, bad situations at work, things like that, because I didn't have that level of commitment to lifestyle that made me stronger. And now over the last 3.5 years especially, it did work for a while with Kedler's Fountain of Youth stuff that made better. But this last one with the retention is the foundation of all control you have. And as people are mentioning, the more they get off of like edging and more into monk mode, the better off they are. And that's very true. That's one of the areas I'm still working on is monk mode. Take it totally out. And then just make a dispassionate type of attitude towards women in this case. And then you will attract all kinds of women, but it's not going to make a difference because you're not really interested in, unless you're interested in one person. And again, whether you're married or interested in a person, you have to have that detachment with that. And that's something I'm learning as time goes on too. So Vigor Warriors 2 is still learning a lot of things as well, as you guys are. And I think it's important to kind of do this together. So as a 1% club, we see the importance of this. But as we're talking about anxiety, I felt a lot of anxiety early on as well. So I understand what you guys are really talking about. And in fact, DJ 3DD, I was angry yesterday about something. And what happened was that I got caught with a situation that I really didn't appreciate, and I got upset with someone, and that was not a great thing to do, and I'll be the first one to admit that. But it does show you the power. I could not control that power, and that person was taken aback because the power, the force of my energy was great. Now I felt a little, obviously, drained because that's not what you really want to do. So that's something I'll need to correct in the future. But the thing is that you have superpower. Because when you have that type of situation, you have so much intensity, it's very hard for people to get away from that. Now, they may be upset, and this is what happens especially with women. You'll see women, if you're upset with them, they'll go back and realize this guy's got some kind of intensity. He's got it. Now, he may not be happy with the situation, and maybe you shouldn't have gotten upset, but still, you're still seeing that super energy you have. The anxiety comes from not really knowing how to handle this new you. And that's where, in my opinion, the problem I had. Not knowing how to handle the new situation. Especially we're talking about maybe 90 days in. This is new. I had 47 years of the old life. And the first 90 days, it was a transition. So a lot of things changed. You would have anxiety. You would have some anger at times. A lot more now, except for yesterday. I really have not had any kind of anger for months. But you got to keep it, once again, just like temptation, you got to keep that on top of the game. And I'll admit, Warriors, I fell yesterday, so with that anger. But what you really got to do is continue to just think in terms of what a high-value male is and a masculine male. Masculine male doesn't get upset. They don't get anxious. They try to be calm. And the benefits of semen retention is that whether it happens or not, you have the benefits of being calm, not being angry most of the time. You're going to be in a situation where you're not going to react to other males, other people who are, maybe pissing you off or getting you upset or doing something in which you're not happy with what they're doing. And those type of things are going to happen. You're going to be frustrated at times. That's going to happen early on. But remember, you're changing a lifestyle. Don't stop from changing that lifestyle and committing to the plan. That's the key. And I think Kelder said this in the book as well when he talked about the fact that at some point you have to commit to this. Whether it's the Fountain of Youth exercises or the sixth rite, which is the retention one, in which you're transmuting energy up through your system, which is the key to a lot of these other types of things. And the 5 are good. I had moderate success with the 5, and obviously, if you guys think that I look young, and I'm going to be 62 in 2 days, the 25th, and I look a lot younger, well, those obviously did work, right? But over the last 3 years, as I think somebody, maybe Giovanni or somebody said, I'm even looking younger now than I did before. The last couple of years, since I've been doing the videos. That's probably because of the retention. Because now you get to the point where Kelder says you have a superhuman type of attitude. You're a superhuman type person because now you're keeping all your vitamins and, not vitamins, but vitality, and you're keeping your vigor within yourself and your energy and all those nutrients that you have that you lose when you actually release all the time. And obviously the non-fat watching the images also hurts your eyes and your whole mentality. And so you have a whole different mentality when you're not doing that stuff. And that's important, guys, because you want to keep the lifestyle that you're committed to. Now, again, you're going to have some anxiety, I think, as people are mentioning here. Frustration with other people. Again, You're going to have frustration because people, as you guys have mentioned in some of your comments, they don't realize this. They don't realize the truth in this. I mean, we're being brainwashed in society through the matrix that, you should be releasing all the time. What's wrong with you? So if you're talking, and that's why we talk about 1%, if you're talking 9 out of 10 people, maybe even 10 out of 10 people most of the time, you're not going to have anybody who has an idea about this. So it takes time for this new idea to come through. This is not really a Western world idea. This is something, except for celibacy, which is more in a Catholic church, but that's something that, people have passed a long time ago. They don't want to hear that kind of stuff. In this kind of day and age, unless you have a high body count, you're not considered somebody who's successful at all, whether you're a man or a woman. And so the thing is that we need to go back and kind of go back to those days in which you're not just throwing your energy out there, especially males. Females have a different type of situation in some regards, but they're still losing energy like crazy too. And so it's the same thing for women as well. But when we talk about this, and you guys are mentioning this type of thing, it's important to kind of look at what is the final goal. The goal is for you to become the best high-value male and the best masculine male you can be. And that means doing things with the spiritual world. That means intellectual, physical, and you're going to be successful in God's purpose. All this goes back to God's purpose. What is God's purpose for you? And what are you trying to do in your faith with the Lord and your Creator? So as you have that faith, now that's going to teach you a level of self-control. And that's when you start doing it. But you're going to have anxious times because this is an all new behavior. It's almost like an addiction that a person would have with anything else, whether it's a drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex gambling addiction, all those things. The first few months away from this is almost like you're getting a withdrawal. And so you're going to feel different things that you haven't felt for a long time. And you're probably going to be a little anxious about that, frustrated about that, because it's a different feeling that you had over the last number of years. I know it happened to me. And many times I felt like, I better go back to the old life. But I knew the old life really wasn't the way to go. And I think as you examine this more, you'll see that what you're doing now, the level of self-control, the level of patience, the level of calmness you have most of the time, are things that are much better for you. My workout regimen is so much better than it was. I now have, I think I joke about this, 2.5 abs. We're getting closer, right? The fasting's helping again. The workouts, I'm doing a lot more planks now than I was doing before. So that's kind of helping with my lower midsection. So we're going to get there. And at 62, I have those goals to kind of do right now. I'll probably have goals when I'm 92, if I'm 92, right? Those type of things. But the thing you want to kind of focus on is you want to focus on your goals. Develop yourself. Don't worry about the women. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the job. All those things will fall into place. Because let me tell you, once you see a high-value male, other people want that person around. Not only for romantic type of things, but for all things. Because they like that energy. They like that person's confidence. They like who that person is. And they want to be drawn to that person because that person is a winner. That person is somebody who knows what's going on, what they want to do, and they're ahead of 99% of the world. And this is why we do this. Because we're learning self-control. It doesn't matter if you're doing the types of things like they do in some of the, like karate, they're doing Tai Chi. All these things are control things. You're trying to learn control. And the key is controlling yourself, your body, your soul, your mind, to do the things you want, especially in Lord's name. If you're doing it for the purpose of God and God's directing you, that's the only person you should be serving. The question always is who you're serving, your God or yourself. And most people, 99% of people in the world, are serving themselves. And this is why they always run into trouble. So you're going to have anxiety. You're going to have a lot of withdrawal from these type of things, especially if you've been releasing a lot. It's going to be major withdrawal. Whether it's, and I see withdrawal all the time. I used to have caffeine withdrawals all the time. And those are not pleasant. But you're detoxing. In a way, you're detoxing. You're detoxing away from semen release all the time. You're detoxing. And I think it's a key type of thing. So the anxiety is there, but don't panic, guys. Don't panic, warriors. You're going to be fine. Stay with the plan. And eventually, this will become the normal for you. The normal will be the new lifestyle. If that's what you really want, but that's what you got to examine your mind. You've got to eventually, over time, say, this is it. At 47 years, whatever it was, I finally said, heck, I got nothing to lose at this point. I'm not happy with what's going on, and it's time to make a change. And the change I made, I said, full blast. Somebody had mentioned this, and I'll go back to the comments and look at it a little bit later, but someone mentioned they were edging and different things over time, and it just doesn't work that way. You've got to go full commitment, and you've got to make that commitment at some point saying, okay, enough of this, I've got to do it. And that's what Kelder was talking about in the book, saying at some point you got to make the commitment. And the commitment is to the lifestyle. You're going to have anxiety, you're going to have things that frustration, anger at times, but you've got to realize it's all withdrawals. You're all kind of, your body is adjusting, your mind's adjusting to the new situation of not watching images all the time and not releasing all the time and having yourself a whole different lifestyle, which is important. All right, my friends, enough for today. Thank you guys, a whole host of people. Thank you guys for your comments and shout outs, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're going to do another one soon. Try to do one maybe tonight, or we'll try to do one tomorrow if we can. Until then, two things I always leave you guys with. One, every day, just like today, is a new day to a great warrior. And that means then, guys, it is time to battle!